everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Taylor, and this week over in the Muscles by Brussels Facebook group, I asked what kind of recipes you'd like to see because I haven't done a recipe video in a while. We got some interesting responses, but the theme seemed to be sweet stuff. But what I found was people were like, use more gluten, or can you try something gluten-free? So today the recipe that we're doing is going to be a protein chocolate brownie with two versions. You can do it with or without gluten, and they're both protein dense. So today I'm going to be making the gluten-free version. But I'll tell you where you can put the gluten in if you want to. I'm going to be using 2 bowls. I'm going to start with the bigger bowl, and I'm going to do about 1.5 cups of mashed banana. And I'm going to throw it on the scale so I can see what that actually comes out to be in terms of grams here. It would help if my scale turned on. We probably go through one food scale a year because they just die after that. Do you guys have any recommendations for a food scale that seems to last more than a year? If you don't like bananas, you could also use baked sweet potato or canned pumpkin here. And the riper the banana, probably the better. Geez, Danny, maybe you should have mashed this off camera. Of course I don't have a potato masher. Why would I have a potato masher? So 1.5 cups came out to be about 350 grams of banana. Composties. Okay, next I'm gonna add 3/4 cup of cashew butter. You could use any nut butter, but I wanted to use cashew because it's pretty mild flavored nut butter, but you could use peanut butter or almond butter. There we go. I'm just using the same cup over and over again. I don't like to dirty a lot of dishes when I make food. Okay, we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of vanilla. This is imitation vanilla because that's what I have right now. Although, I am making my own vanilla extract. It should be ready by next month. I'm very excited about that. And now I'm gonna use Ripple, the pea milk, and I'm using the unsweetened one. You could use any of them, or you could use any non-dairy milk. It just is gonna change the macros if you do. And now I am gonna mix these together. So these are all of the wet ingredients. Okay, beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside. Moving on to the dry. So I'm gonna use white flour here, but if you had like oat flour or whole wheat flour, you absolutely could use that as well. Next, I'm gonna use Orgain protein powder, the creamy chocolate fudge flavor here. I don't love cooking with protein powders, but I tested this one out in this recipe and it came out really good. So I can't vouch for other protein powders in this recipe, but the Orgain does well. So here we go. If you were going to use gluten instead, this is where you would add it. Cocoa powder, salt, and baking powder. Now these are not gonna puff up a whole lot, but this will help them rise a little bit. Okay, we're gonna mix this all together gently so you don't get big powder clouds around you, and you want it to all be uniform in color. Now we are going to mix the dry into the wet. I'm just gonna dump a whole lot in there. And it's going to be a very thick batter. Okay, so let's see if you can see the thickness on this. It's really thick, but that's what we want. Now I'm going to do, I'm gonna add 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. These are just dark chocolate chips. The generic version at my grocery store happen to be vegan. They look bigger than usual. And just gonna stir those in, fold them in. What does it mean to fold something in? Schitt's Creek, anybody? Outstanding. Now I'm gonna get an 8 by 8 inch brownie pan. I'm gonna use some cooking spray on the pan. You could oil it if you wanted to, or if you have a silicone pan or parchment paper, you could also use that. And gonna spoon this in. Oh, it's all over my hand now. Excellent. Just gonna spread it out all the way to the edges, and I'm gonna pop it in the oven. And because I've only made this once in a smaller batch, I don't know exactly how long it's going to take yet, But I'm gonna keep an eye on it and I will put it up on the screen exactly how long it takes. I do have my oven set to 350 degrees, standard baking temperature. And because it's thick, you might find that it's higher in some places than others. Just try to make it nice and level. Pop it in the oven and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so that took 35 minutes for a toothpick to come out clean, and that was my test. So let's get it right up there. Ooh, do you guys see that? Nice and shiny top. So it literally just came out, but I'm going to cut one anyway because we have to go somewhere in a minute. So, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's way too hot to cut. Would definitely recommend waiting for it to not have just come out of the oven before you cut it. But this is 12 servings. Okay. Let's try to get this out in one piece. Oh yes. Oh, kind of. Big hunk of the bottom came off here. That's all right. I want you guys to see it. Don't look at my nail that's falling off. There we go. Do you see that? Nice. Good texture on these. So they're not too fudgy, they're not too cakey, they're good warm, they're good cool. You can do them with the gluten, and if you were gonna do that, I would also add some sweetener because the Orgain already has some sweetener in it. But the macros on this, if you cut it into 12, are 199 calories, 22 grams of carbohydrates, 10 grams of fat, and 8 grams of protein. So it's not a super high protein dessert. If you are looking for a super high protein dessert, check out my high protein double chocolate chip cookies. Those remain my favorite dessert recipe of all time. But as far as brownies go, this is really, really good. No refined sugar, no oil. Definitely give these a try. Giacomo, do you want to try it? Because impatience is rewarded.
Question.
He's so not camera ready, but hang on, I'll give you this hunk that fell.
I'm trying this brownie, ready?
No, I can't.
There.
You have potato on your forehead.
Potato. I'm making a salad. We're celebrating today. We're having dinner with friends, but brownie.
Here, I'm not feeding you.
Okay.
That's gross and weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Ugh. It's probably really hot.
That is really, really good.
You got it all baked. So it does taste a little banana-y, so if you don't like the flavor of banana, you would want to use pumpkin or sweet potato, but if you used peanut butter, that would be good too. Chocolate, peanut butter, banana. But I like it with the cashew butter. I don't know. If there's any other recipes you'd like to see, you can let us know in the comments. Come join our Facebook group, Muscles by Brussels Radio. Lots of good discussions there. And when you guys ask for stuff, that's what we actually do. So we hope you like it. Let us know, and we'll talk to you next week.